Park reports, everything is kind of on hold. As far as outside work because of, the weather.
Oh, yeah. It'll be pretty this week, but then Thursday it'll rain and there you go again.
Well, I have 4 coaches call me today, hey, you think we can get out there and practice? I said, yeah, if you got a boat. So, you know, I met with, the park supervisor, and he's got everything laid out that he wants to do now, he's just waiting. But we are gonna redo field 10. I mean, they're gonna redo it by adding dirt. Field 10 at McDaniel and field 2 at Bechtold. And all the rest of them, they're gonna put turfus, or field drive turfus down and remove the crowns. If you noticed all the crowns. Same at McDaniel. Schuler, believe it or not, Muller's first game is Wednesday. And they were up there today, I think Schuler will be ready.
Yeah.
They got the outfield fence all covered and they've got the dugouts and all that stuff ready, so hopefully it won't rain before then and Muller will get their first game in. Bob Meyer, they've
So
been over there.
are you going over park by park?
Yeah.
Are there any, no status updates for improvements, bids, or any of that work?
At Bechtold?
Or any of them?
Bechtold, yeah, I'm glad you said that. Bechtold, if you've noticed, Shelter 2, the new one that they're building, the main structure's up now. They've got to do their brickwork, masonry, and all that. They've also started on the pavilion. They started the repairs. They've started taking out the stonework around the columns. Columns are going to be replaced. The beams are going to be replaced, and the roof is going to be replaced. And they have started on that. I can't give you any kind of date as far as finishing because it just depends on the contractor and the weather and everything else.
That's almost a takedown start up.
Yeah. Well, they're leaving the stone, you know, the mantle and
Right.
all that in the bathrooms, but
Yeah.
admin building, I noticed they've got some stakes back there. They'll be starting fairly soon. I can't give you a date on the new maintenance building. I'm looking forward to that because getting rid of the pole barn at Bechtold Park is.
Oh. That opens up a big hunk of land in a sense.
Well, and it opens up that whole back.
And I start saying, you can see all the way through now.
Yeah. Which I think will help curb some of the things that go on back there.
Right.
So, for McDaniel, the only changes are putting dirt on field 10? No other?
Field 10, all the fields will be revamped. The lips will be removed from all the fields. But the only field up there that's gonna actually get dirt plus all the turfus is field 10, because that's the one that needs it.
Okay. Is there an evaluation of the rental rates?
I wasn't planning on it this year. It's $25 for McDaniel is $25 for every two and a half hours, every game basically, or practice.
When's the last time that was evaluated?
We started, the last time I think we did that was a couple years ago. We raised them. I try to keep up with what other communities around here are charging.
So the rate is $25 for 2 hours?
2.5 hours per game, basically, or practice,
And that's just baseball? Or softball?
or soccer.
So that's the rate for soccer?
For McDaniel.
So it's $25 for 2 hours for a soccer field?
Mm-hmm. For McDaniel. Okay,
And then you said Schuler, Muller's gonna be using it, what's that rental rate?
Muller, the baseball is on a sliding scale. It starts at $100 a game. Moves down for outside organizations. It moves down to 75 a game, depending on how many games they play.
It goes down?
So if they play 1 to 3 games, it's $100.
Okay,
If they play 4 to 10 games, I believe it's about 95. And if they play 11 or more games, then it's, and again, that's, you know, I base that on what other communities around here do that have a field like Schuler.
but Muller's the only one that currently uses that field, correct?
No, Muller uses it. This year, Cincinnati Hills is going to use it for a couple games because they're losing their baseball field. There's a select team that is using it for, I think, I don't have the schedule in front of me, about 6 games. And then the Cincinnati Adult Baseball League is using it probably for 30-something games.
So how many games do you think happen at Schuler a year?
Baseball games, depending on the weather, probably, let's see, between 70 and 80.
Okay. And then the soccer fields there, are those $25 for 2 hours as well?
The 2 small fields are. The large field that has the light, by the way, the lights are $55 extra. The soccer is, I believe it starts at $100 a game, pretty much the same thing as the baseball field. High schools, we only charge, if they play more than, like 3 games, we only charge them $65 a game.
So high schools pay less than just league?
Yeah.
How many times do you think that field gets used?
What?
The soccer field?
Oh, no, I was just talking about the baseball field there. The soccer field probably gets used probably 30 to 35 games. We don't permit any practice on any of the fields. It's Schuler. Baseball or soccer.
Okay, and then the $65 for high school, that's only for baseball, or is that for soccer and baseball?
No, that's baseball.
Okay. So soccer's just 100 a game.
And soccer's on a sliding scale. I'd have to look at, Landmark right now is the main user of the big soccer field. They play all their boys and girls soccer there.
Okay. And the solar panels, have those been checked lately?
There's a couple of them broken. I don't handle that
That's
at all.
That's under maintenance?
Maintenance and the IT folks. Greg pretty much handles that. Okay, just going to old business, the festival. We're working with some bands. I have nothing finalized officially, so I can't do any announcing or any of that kind of thing. As far as food booths, we've gotten so far they have until April the 27th, I believe. Most of the booths that we had last year have applied for this coming year.
I'd say they try to get back pretty quick,
Yeah.
most of them.
one that's gonna change are the Saint Savior Scouts. That's the one Jerry Gruber had.
Yeah.
He died.
Hmm.
So they're, Saint Savior's is gonna reapply, but it'll just be somebody different.
Yeah,
They
haven't came back yet, yeah.
well, their pastor just announced his retirement yesterday,
Mm.
Father Tim, so. You know, they're in kind of a little state of flux up there right now, so. I have heard from one, it's a food truck. Do a lot of, not barbecue, but like fish tacos and,
Yeah,
you know, most of the stuff is something that we don't have
right,
at the festival. That's the only new booth I've heard from, or that's put in an application.
right. Now, you getting much response from gutter shutters or?
Yeah, well,
County-
like
county
gutter
people,
shutters, the
yeah.
county people have already applied, bath fitters already
But,
applied.
yeah,
And is everybody required to have the $1 million insurance? Because,
They're supposed to, if it's a charity group or, you know, like the Scouts or something, you know, I mean, it's not like they're selling something that's gonna hurt anybody, they're selling pop. So I might give them a little break. But if, I mean, you're selling something where somebody is eating it and then you're making it,
right,
you know,
on the property, well, yeah.
then,
You're making pizza on the property or you're making a hamburger,
yeah.
yeah,
Those basically, the requirements were pretty much following what Cincinnati does. I mean, they sent me their stuff and most of that comes off of what they do for the taste. Al, you got anything?
not that I can think of, Mike.
I got you to do the, you'll do the food again, right? The food boost.
If I'm able, if I can remember how. I figured people would like to have somebody new.
They probably like to have somebody who's running it too.
Yeah. I can't help it, I have fun, but.
We got, we're gonna advertise again with WGRR. I've already met with them and with WLW. Might do a little bit again with WDJO, depending on our budget.
Yeah.
WDJO is fairly cheap. And kind of surprisingly, they pretty effective too.
WLW seems to put in a plug just every now and then when I listen to them.
Oh yeah, they do extra.
Yeah, they put in a plug about every chance they get.
And WGR does that whole weekend before for free. And that's worth, I've been told, about $10,000
Yeah,
of free advertising. Now we gotta make sure that it's okay with whatever bands we end up with,
right.
that they have those people sitting right in front of them and stuff. You got any new business, anything you need to?
Not that I can think of, Mike.
Okay, and I apologize again, but we have sickness and we have work. So here we are.
We won't say anything about old age.
No. You got anything?
the budget, I understand there's a simple line item budget, but, does Parks do a budget?
It's mixed in with the, I thought I gave you that at the last.
Well, you rattled off some numbers.
Yeah, well, that was coming off of that. I don't have the numbers with me. It's all combined with the maintenance budget now.
So Parks doesn't have
Park,
its own budget.
not its own, well, it's combined, and there's things in there that are specifically for the parks. If you email me, I'll give it to you.
Okay.
But it is combined with maintenance now, the budget. And that's mainly, I believe, because the parks are maintained by the maintenance department. I mean, we have a park supervisor now, and he's got an assistant, and that's his job is the parks, and then during the summer, we have a couple guys up at Schuler that are there all the time.
But they're still somewhat maintenance,
They're still
maintenance.
part of the maintenance department, so,
They get paid out of the same budget.
right.
Yeah.
So will this committee get to decide any, like you said, the radio advertising?
Well, this committee actually did decide it years ago, and we pretty much maintain the same thing, the same plan every year.
It works.
WLW has given us the same price for the last 3 or 4 years. WGRR has given us the same price for the last 3 or 4 years. Same amount of commercials. WGRR runs a whole weekend contest the week before the festival. Every 2 hours or whatever it is, caller number rate, wins something, free
Admission to the festival.
Well, not, yeah. They get preferred seating and they get, some festival bucks. But that's all free. They do that.
He gets them listeners and he gets
It
us
gets them
advertising.
promoted, yeah, well, they're the number one
Yeah,
for about the 10th straight time.
but then he gets them listeners and then he gets us free advertising and more people to show up at
Right,
the festival.
right.
So then will this committee get to decide who the bands are?
The committee is consulted, yeah. Yeah.
I'm
They've
just wondering
always-
what the committee's, tasked with.
Well, the main part that the committee does for the festival is actually work on the festival. I mean, physically be at the festival and work on it. Some of them handle the hospitality areas, Al handles all the food booths. People handle the transportation, the ground transportation, all that kind of stuff. That's all what committee members do, the main part.
First couple of years it was pure hectic and then all of a sudden we each one found our groove.
Yeah, everybody knows exactly what, and
I've been doing food for like the second year we started.
yeah. So it's almost to the point now, I don't have to tell anybody what to do. They know what to do. They can show up at the festival and they know, because we've been together, the members have been doing this for how many years? 20 something.
25, 26.
Yeah.
Well, food trucks, that's a new
Food trucks are new.
concept.
Not new. We've had a few, I think, the past 2 years and 3 years.
Something like that, yeah.
Cause it seemed like there could be a whole other row of vendors
Where
But yeah,
behind the first, well, there's basically one row.
Well, the thing we ran up against years ago, number one's electric. Number two, you don't wanna put them in the grass.
Right.
If you put them on a blacktop, where's the ones you got gonna park?
What do you mean, like their vehicle?
Yeah, because a lot of them will have stuff in their vehicle.
Yeah.
keep stuff in their vehicles,
Keep their
or
vehicle.
they bring trailers.
Or they're coming in and out, like Italianette will bring stuff in and out that they need, this type deal. So you gotta have room back there for them to park, so that they have the access. And if you set up booths, you ain't got it.
Well, when I ran an event, people would have to drop off their stuff before the event.
We do that,
But
but
they do, there's a lot of them do that, but
Yeah.
again, you have them at, and then that's like Deer Park Deli always has a trailer. And different ones have trailers they keep stuff in.
there's a lot of times that they don't want to bring too much because they don't want it to spoil.
Sure.
So a lot of times they sell out, or they're selling out, and so you'll see them doing runs all the time.
The-
We have it set up so that they can only come in one way, and they can only leave one way where they're not gonna bother.
They're not gonna come in off Sycamore and go out off Plainfield or vice versa.
One problem we're gonna have this year that I can't really address yet is Sycamore Road. It's
With
gonna
that
be
turn,
being
yeah.
worked on, and it's gonna be one way. So we're gonna have to reroute the buses, and we're gonna have to,
Yeah,
you know, but that's just something that we'll see.
know which direction will be going.
Well, yeah, I don't know yet.
Yeah.
I don't know that they know yet. I don't know, that's
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 it.
not my
When they tell you, you might know.
yeah.
So cause our organization wanted to get a space, I just wanna make sure that there's enough, and then there's other people I know, food trucks, that I think there could be more food vendors there.
Again,
If we have room, and there should be room for your space.
Yeah, we don't need much.
Right. You would probably be on the business, what we call the business side. If you're looking north, it'd be on the east side of the parking lot.
you need a light and that's it. You don't need electric for cooking and everything else.
And
You just need a light and maybe a fan if you bring them on.
And some water.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, would we have access to a hose if we wanted?
a hose, no. Water, yes.
What are you planning on?
Dunk tank?
We're gonna have to talk about a dunk tank.
Yeah.
If we do a dunk tank, you'll have to be in the back.
What do you mean the back?
Back by shoulder three,
About where the
where
rides
the
are.
rides are.
On the other side of the block building, by the basketball goal, the block building on the other side back there.
That's where the water is.
Because of where it's located.
Yeah, and when we have had a dunking, well, I call it the dunking booth before,
Yeah,
that's,
That's where it
because that's
was.
where the water is.
yeah.
Okay. That was one idea, which hopefully it's hot.
And I had fun with that.
It's this, yeah. Yeah, you were. in the-
Nobody had more fun than me in the Duncan booth.
Were you in it?
Oh, yeah. The one year, on Friday night, I was up, and they said, "Are you gonna get in? You gonna get in?" I said, "Tomorrow night, 7:00." They said, "Okay." Well, the next night, Saturday night, I went up, and there was somebody else there
At that time?
at that time. They said, I said, "Do you want me in there?" There's some kid on the booth, football player or something.